Hi everybody, welcome once again to our Low on Health Rambling. Today is Monday, May 16th, 2011. And I just want to say, yay, I got a haircut. I know, no big deal normally, but usually, as most people know, like to grow my hair long. And unfortunately now, because I work at McDonald's, I can't do that. So my hair was starting to get into the awkward middle length phase where it starts to wing out and stuff. And I realized that since I can't even attempt to even grow it shoulder length, I'm like, screw it, I'm not going to bother with that, so I'll get it cut. In the process of getting it cut, she just the lady at the hair cutter place basically slicked the hair back with gel. And I'm like, hey, she's like, what the hell? She's like, that looks good. I'm like, hey, whatever, I'll try it. So I'm just now just kind of trying maybe the whole slick back look, which is almost kind of very I mentioned before. It's very younger Jimmy. Of course, younger Jimmy would of course probably have it a little bit shorter, spiked up, and probably blue. But those days are long gone. I can no longer do that. So I'm trying it this way. You know, it doesn't look good to some, maybe it looks good to others. I mean, I don't care. I'm just trying this for a while, and then I'll change it back once I run out of gel. It's just something new that I'm trying out for the fun of it. No big deal. Probably the big should-do that's happened recently is my friend Jeff, who I mentioned numerous times. His birthday was over the weekend. He turned 35, and his wife kind of threw him a little surprise get-together at Jack Willys, which is this tinky bar down in Oldsmar. They live in Oldsmar, and we met up at Jack Willys for his little surprise dealie. And sad to say, Jack Willys is a supremely just horrible place. The service was slow. The first chair that I had was basically underneath an AC vent, which was constantly dripping. Like almost every single AC vent was dripping. I don't know because of condensation or whatnot, but you don't put chairs right underneath it. The service was slow. I looked at the menu, noticed they didn't have any like Dr. Pepper or Mr. Pibb listed, but I'm like, okay, whatever. So I asked the lady, Dr. Pepper, root beer, Mr. Pibb. She's like, no. I'm like, well, I guess I'll have root beer. You have that listed. She's like, oh, we don't have root beer either. I'm like, fucking A. So I gotta get Coke. In which case, Darren, who was there, was smart enough to say, can you make cherry Coke? In which case they could. So I should have changed my order, but I didn't want to seem to be copying Darren. So that kind of sucked. I mean, you know me. But that usually is a big factor of my tip, actually. But luckily, they included an 18% tip in the check, so I didn't feel too bad giving him $2 as a tip. But no, the actual place was not that great. The food was okay, it wasn't great. I got my usual to-go box and whatnot, but that was kind of just the first half. A bunch of us got together and whatnot. And of course, in normal style, after that, we went to Jeff's place afterwards for kind of just a little get-together, have a couple drinks, have a couple beers and whatnot. This is his birthday cake, which they made for him. It was a nice cheesecake. I didn't have a piece of it because I'm not a big cheesecake person. But I took a bunch of pictures with my 3DS, so they don't look that great, but I just took a couple pictures of us, of course, playing Rock Band, because that's what almost every single night at Jeff's will devolve into, or a big get-together. And, of course, we all love the Rock Band. I, of course, am mainly on drums. Alden was there. We haven't actually had Alden at a Rock Band event. He would do the guitar. He actually did the drums a couple times, too. Let's just cycle through here. There's the kind of the good old animation game. You get Darren on bass, Jeff on vocals, Alden and me on drums. This was a really cool shot. Later on, I'll show you like the 3D version-esque of this. But with those glasses there and a 3DS screen in front of that is just really cool. There's us rocking out some more. Just in the, as you can see, this is kind of the usual swaths of people you've seen almost every single Rock Band event. You got Flea there in the top, bottom right there. Doug came out, who is a very old Anime Nation person. I never worked with him at Anime Nation, but I've been with him on a couple little excursions here. There, great guy. He showed up. Of course, Bishop also showed up, which is a classic Xbox Live friend of ours that Jeff knows. And this, of course, is looking out their balcony of their little apartment place there. Got a nice view. Once again, this is us playing. Some more, and there's Jeff's TV and whatnot. When I was playing the original Rock Band drum kit, so I didn't have the cymbals or anything, so it actually did take a little bit while to get used to not hitting the cymbals or hi-hats or crashes or rides. There's Alden doing the drums. And then this right here is like kind of the 3D picture-esque of his cake. And what I did is I have this program that lets me take the left and right image and kind of overlay them into an animated GIF to kind of give that 3D perspective. But there's his cake like in a 3D perspective. There's that Doug Holloway one, kind of a 3D perspective there. And that's the one with the glasses. Granted, the background's real shaky, but you can kind of get an idea with the drinks and everything that were there. And that's, of course, Jeff picking up the mic, rocking it out. I was able to actually, a couple times, too, able to do the whole, the singing and the guitar to a couple songs. I did No Doubt's Sunday Morning, singing and bass, and then I did, of course, Paramore's That's What You Get, crash and bass. And I had just a really good time. Did have a good amount to drink. I had, of course, the usual, I had the pina coladas, which Flynn was nice enough to get pina colada mix. I had 2 of those. Then she got these hand grenade mix, which is basically a drink in New Orleans. It's kind of like a green Jolly Rancher-ish type of alcoholic drink. Was just amazing. I had 3 of those. And it was just a usual good, solid night of hanging out with everybody, having good times, and playing Rock Band and just catching up and sharing worldviews and stuff. Haven't really got a chance to catch up with a lot of these people recently. The funny thing was, is I didn't really realize it, as that normal with these events, I will end up sleeping on Jeff's couch and waking up in the morning and doing the walk of shame from his place to my car and driving home and then sleeping. But because of the whole McDonald's thing now, I'd come home, sleep for a couple hours, and I had to go to work. And while I was at work, I noticed that I had a headache and that every single loud thing was bugging me. And I'm like, holy shit, I have a hangover. I haven't had a hangover in years. I mean, easily over a decade. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Working at McDonald's and just all the beeps and high-pitched tones really just kind of get to you. Luckily, I was able to get out of my system eventually, but it was just a fun night. I haven't really had a good fun night recently, going out and hanging out with everybody and playing Rock Band, which I love doing, because it's something I can kind of show off doing. But a good night, nice to catch up with everybody, and that was just a good night. Of course, I also always want to wish Jeff a happy birthday, 35 years, and thank both him and Felina yet again for letting me crash at their place and providing drinks and putting up with me. Basically, everybody that night, thank you for putting up with me. Moving on here, what else I got? I want to say that I watched recently the third season of the Star Wars Clone Wars, in which case I want to mention Jeff had recommended these to me. I played through the first two seasons. This is the third one. I'm going to have to go on a limb here and say I like this Clone Wars saga, these three seasons alone so far, better than both trilogies combined. Not just the prequel trilogies, because anything's better than the prequel trilogies, but just for what they do with the characters and with the Star Wars universe, what they've had liberty to do and consider canon and bring in, and a better description of the Force and Anakin and Padme's relationship. Just everything is just fleshed out better, and I think this is just a better, look of the series and of this just the universe. And I recommend the Clone Wars to any Star Wars fan. I think it is better than both trilogies combined. And yes, you might roll your eyes, but it's just really good of what they explain to you and just the different kind of points of view and character development. It's really, really good, and I recommend it to any Star Wars fan. Moving on here. Just some extra side things real quick. It was actually kind of funny. Let me do this one first. I found out recently, because I'm never at home, that my electric bill has dropped considerably, which I'm just going to scroll through. This is pointless stuff, I know. I'm just wrapping up some small things that have in the back of my head. This is my payment history, and as you can see, there's 2009, 2010, 2011, like, my last month's was $40. I spent $40 on electricity, and that's mainly because I don't run my AC. I'm never home to run the TV or computer that much. This actually May one that just came in was like $50. So I'm just really kind of happy that's how I'm saving money somewhere, because you can see over the years how it was kind of high here or there. And a really cool thing real quick, we'll zoom back out here. I want to mention I actually had a guy from work actually interested in one of the rooms I'm renting out. I mentioned before I have 2 rooms for rent at my place, and I've been trying to rent them out. I have flyers up at the state attorney's office and McDonald's, and somebody at McDonald's was actually interested in them, and he came by Saturday, actually before Jeff's party, before I went out. He came by and took a look at the rooms, and he was very kind of happy with them. And he definitely liked them, and hopefully he's very interested in them, and hopefully he actually has a friend who's also looking for another room, because I have the 2 rooms for $300 apiece, and they would have to share a bath. And he had a friend who also might be interested, so if anything, he'll let me know the first if he's interested, and that could really help out, in the long run, having somebody to rent out the rooms, especially somebody that I have worked with, that's a good contact, a good reference, and I know when he would work, and he's kind of an overnight person, so our sleep schedules would complement each other. That would just really help me in the long run, because I still have other things in the house I need to do. I need to fix my washer and other side projects here and there. Other news on the side, what else did I do? Haircut check. I bought new shoes. I know that's stupid, but I've always worn Vans all my life, in which case I realize I'm, relatively poor, so I can't afford Vans anymore, even with the buy one, get one half off thing. So I've actually bought Walmart cheap skate shoes, like they're cheap kind of just skate shoes, just because I need the cushion, which is kind of disappointing because I've been wearing Vans probably for almost a good 2 decades now. It's just kind of my staple. That's the shoes I wear. I love them, and, they last me like at least 1 to 2 years. But now I've kind of had to downgrade and buy the cheaper of the shoes, and that's just kind of sad and depressing for me, just because of letting go of that. But that's just me rambling on. Not that much else going on, just eating. I got a couple movies coming up. Oh, another kind of side thing, funny real quick. I was at the Jeff's birthday thing. I was mentioning a lot of us a lot of them were mentioning they were working out, they've lost weight. Like a lot of people, I brought up the fact that, if you left Anime Nation, has the majority of us lost weight, in which case, kind of looking at certain people. I mean, like Alden, Jeff, Josh, myself, Sarah, and we don't know who else, but just a quick swath of people have actually lost weight, got toned up and better since leaving Anime Nation, which is just kind of interesting because, anime fans are usually the slow and kind of slothish people that we are. it's just interesting to see us maybe growing up and taking better care of ourselves. So it's just kind of an interesting thing that I noticed while at the party. But other than that, it's just a bunch of little small things here and there. Want to thank everybody once again for watching these and whatnot. I am working on some reviews here and there when I have the time, which I don't have much of. But if I didn't see you at the party, it was great. And I'll actually, speaking of birthday parties and whatnot, I do have August weekend off for my birthday, and actually contacted my uncle who works at Disney. And it looks like I'll be going over to Orlando and maybe doing a tour of one of the Disney parks with him. But then I'm also trying to figure out maybe a Saturday night, the first Saturday I think in August, I might be doing something at the house or whatnot. Maybe getting people together or see if anybody wants to do anything and get together, maybe do a rock band thing or just hang out or meet up somewhere. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Let me know if like, hey, yeah, I'm interested, or if you want to hang out with me or just catch up with me. I have that like weekend around my birthday off. Just give me a shout and maybe we can make that happen. I just kind of want to get out and do something on that particular couple days off. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.